Oh, yeah, you can't go very far like that.
So here we are this morning on the trails at Indigo Lake Estates, and I am mounted on Mr. Mickey, thanks to our friend. Kristen is on the mountain bike. We're going to share the horse. And here's the first obstruction we see on the trail. Somebody just left all kinds of stuff, and it looks like it's stuff that would be used in the arena, which is all grown up, not maintained. This arena should be for practicing riding and training horses, and you see what kind of condition it has been left in. And this is a portion of the trail that we're entering, and there's a post here that should have a trail sign that's missing. And this is the foliage on either side. The easement for this trail is 25 feet wide. And of course, Mother Nature and vegetation comes in and eats that up. We are farther down on the trail now, and here's a tree that has fallen over, provides a slight barrier, but nothing significant. And as you can see at the base, there's another tree trunk that needs to be removed, but it's not impassable. Just 30 minutes of work right there with the chainsaw, and it's done. Looking back up the trail, this is what we just came through, and it is certainly natural. It is wide, at least 12 feet wide, and it is a beautiful natural trail, easy to ride, and we're having fun. All right, here we are on one of the trails that had a little tree that was extending across the trail. Kristen employed some self-help. Now she's in trouble with the Architectural Control Committee for cutting stuff without authorization, but here we go. And looking up the trail, again, nice and wide. That's more than 12 feet. 12 feet is the width of your driveway. And this is what this trail should look like all the way around. Natural, beautiful, no concrete, no gravel, but wide. This is a portion of the trail that we just traversed. It shows a lot of erosion, but it's still natural flow, and it's passable, and it can be used for all three purposes. You can hike through this, you can jog through this. Through here you see lots of erosion, but it should not be disturbed because the CCRs say allow natural flow throughout the subdivision. Up here we see rocks, big rocks, but we see a path through them, a path that will let equine pass and joggers can pass. Again, this should not be touched. And looking down through here, nice wide, at least 12 feet, and it's passable. Its natural flow is going to create erosion. You have to accept that. There have been rocks placed in it to slow the erosion. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, a mountain bike. Yeah, this trail is certainly passable so far. Everything we have seen and gone through, it's passable with mountain bike, it's passable with horse. There's places where you have to go single file on a horse. Right. We're going to go through a small creek. There's no need for a flyover, no need for a bridge. Mickey wants to eat this little bush right here, and you can see the trail continuing up here, and we will continue our little trek. So far, so good. Okay, we're about 2 lots down from Danny Cellier's lot, and along the path, along the bridle path, there is a depression, a hole here that looks like it might have been, could have been an old stump that was cut out, but or erosion, whatever. But it's somewhat of a hazard, not a terrible hazard, but this could be filled. And filling holes and taking care of hazards along the bridle path is not prohibited by the CCRs. It's a smart idea. It's a part of the general maintenance that these bridle paths need. Here's our friend holding my horse for me so I can video a tree that has fallen and partially closed the trail. But even this is nothing more than 15 minutes with a chainsaw. Cut that thing, drag it out of here, and be done. But it needs to be done. This is a trail along Deanna Carrion's property. And as you can see, it's grown up either side. The trail is still passable. Vegetation along the fence row. I don't know if that looks pretty clean. There's some fallen limbs, sure that could pose a hazard, but they're clear of the trail. And generally, the trail looks very clear to me. It's certainly usable for all three purposes, for hiking, jogging, and equine. We navigated it just fine. Now here's a depression that could pose a hazard for horses. That should probably be filled. Here we are back on horseback, and we're up in the northwest corner of the trails. And so far so good. The trails are passable. We haven't had a thing that we had to get off and walk around. And as you can see in the distance, trail's nice and wide. We're going through a little ditch now, through a creek. Mickey has that under control. Kristen is straightening a flower. And I knew I'd have to contend with that when we started out. She is mountain biking, and let's go, Mickey. And I'd like you to equate that to Mickey Mantle, not Mickey Mouse. My horse is not a Mickey Mouse horse. This is an area of trail behind Dorothy Murray's house. And in this direction, trail looks just fine. But as we move forward, get into this area, you can see we have some issues. This portion to the right needs to be cleared. Let the trail run alongside Dorothy's fence row like it does farther back. The trail presently routes you around here where a neighbor has a fence, a wire fence that is down. The trail gets very narrow. But all of this mess in here, all these trees need to be cut and cleared and allow the trail to run parallel to Dorothy's fence. And this has been neglected for years. These trees didn't just grow up overnight. Farther down, you can see, and we're still behind Dorothy Murray's house, you can see the trail runs right along, paralleling her fence with small vegetation between the trail and her fence. But if we follow her fence back this direction, here's where the dense vegetation starts, and the trees that should have been cut, and it's caused people to have to route out this direction toward this neighbor's fence. And in my opinion, this is a hazard. Going on down the trail, and again, it's passable, usable for all three purposes. And my two friends are about to navigate a little creek. And this creek, I haven't been all the way through it, but it looks like it's navigable for both horse joggers. A jogger can handle this. A hiker can handle this. There could be a small bridge over it, but the trail is supposed to be natural and the water flow is supposed to be natural. So following heavy rains, anticipate more flow through here. Now riding a little farther behind Dorothy Murray's trail, we see limbs that have fallen that do pose hazards. Sharp projection out this way, sharp projection out this way. Those should have been removed. See a limb up here that poses a hazard for horses, and Lois is employing some self-help contrary to our CCRs. So anybody who wants to put her in jail for 6 months for doing that, welcome to do it. Just tell the board our bylaws don't permit any self-help on these trails, which is absolutely ridiculously stupid. Property owners should be permitted to maintain these trails, to come out and work on them if they choose. The responsibility for maintaining the trails does rest with the Property Owners Association, but now we've made it even worse by creating bylaws that prohibit anyone. Here's a couple buddies along the way, big beautiful horses that are saying hi. They want to go ride. And here's my entourage. This is the only place that we have found so far that's impassable. And you can see a tree has fallen over here and come over here. And if the homeowner over here knew that and had a chainsaw, most of our homeowners are just ready, willing, and able to come out and clear things like this. But our own bylaws and our own Architectural Control Committee laws prohibit that, which is ridiculous. But this is 30 minutes with the chainsaw, clear this. Meantime, we're going to try to find a way around it, and because the horses cannot navigate beneath it. Here's what we had to do. We had to cut all of these limbs and open up a path around that fallen tree.
We could jump on that tree, get it down. Right.
That tree is not going to come down. The tree's got too much support. Here's all of our friends. Getting rid of this trail is an idiotic idea. Too many people out here have too many horses and bought here specifically to use this trail. And these horses need this trail. Lois is determined to get through this trail. So she is cutting this tree with a handsaw.
It's a steel.
It's a good handsaw. And you can see beyond the trail, it's passable, it's good. There are just these spots that need attention, and the board has just neglected it. Okay, an update here now. Miss Buzzsaw here with her little hand clippers, and her handsaw has cleared out most of this. We've got this ready for a chainsaw, and we're going to open up this path. We'll update later. All right, here is our team to the rescue.
So, this is my brother Joe.
How you doing? Yeah.
This is my brother Ronald.
Hey Ronald, how are you? This is Ronald Hall, Donald Hall, and I'm Joe Hall, and only those two are related.
Brother from a different mother.
Yeah. So Donald has come down with his chainsaw. He's going to give us some assistance to get this thing cleared so we can get the horses through. Yeah, I think a top cut right about there will get it.
It's so dry and your chain's
Trail is now passable. And if no one objects, I'm going to give Donald a check for $200,000 and sign it for the board. We now have a usable trail. Thanks, Donald. And this area is a gully, very hazardous. We had a real difficult time. Mickey and I did make it through. Just gonna have to get into mountain bike. This gully that has washed out needs to be tended to. Probably lots of rock deposited and the banks plowed down to where you have a smooth elevation going up, but still don't interfere with natural water flow. So all of that gully right there needs to be filled and a 12-foot path made.